And look at Randy Orton slithering.
Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! KO! Here's the cover.
We're back with the video here today. This time in the brand new Tier 10 UK Heavy, the Canopener. So yeah, first game is on Sand River. It is just an example of the average game I've been having in this vehicle, which gives you a good idea of how good this tank is, especially in a haul down position. So if you want more in-depth videos on this, probably check out Petty or Randy's videos. They'd probably do a better job about explaining the tank and all that. But I'll do a little quick in-depth. It's got, as you can see, two 420 Alpha guns on it, which when combined together you get 840 Alpha. The gimmick of the UK heavies is that you can't fire, you can only fire until both barrels are loaded, whether that's a single shot or a double shot. So that provides kind of an interesting playstyle to it. So a lot of times I feel like I'm always firing double barrel on these vehicles, but there are certain scenarios where you shouldn't. The most obvious being if the tank is a one shot, so it's in that 420, 400 damage left kind of range. There's a few others. So for example, if you're like 1v1ing a tank and neither of you are able to get into cover, or if you're just able to strictly fight them, especially if they have higher DPM, so like a medium tank or something like that. If it's got a longer reload that you're fighting, you could potentially just fire doubles at it, but most of the time with this vehicle, especially if you're in a big brawl or if you're able to get back into cover in a position such as this one, you want to be firing doubles because you're able to pull back, align your armor a bit, and then reload both, and then hit people for 840 Alpha, which is just slaps. So yeah, it's a beast haul down. Like, this is probably the best haul down tank at tier 10. I can't imagine, at least it's one of them. Other exceptions being like the other UK heavies, the E4, because of how ridiculously buff that thing has gotten at this point. But yeah. So as far as equipment setup on this, from me, I'm using the gun rammer, optics, vents, and vert stabs. I'm trying to get the most out of the gun possible that will allow us. There's definitely other ways you can run this thing, specifically with that fourth option. If you don't want to run vents, you could do loaded shell exchanger, and potentially not use my setup, which is the complete Unicum scumbag setup of all premium and then a few AG rounds. So yeah, that way you could actually alternate between when you need the AP DS rounds, and the AT for those lightly armored tanks like a FP 4005 or light tanks, etc., etc. You could also set it up with armor hardening as well, and combine that with the other reduced damage perk to get 10% off the damage coming into the vehicle, which is also totally viable. The longer you're in the game with this tank, the more damage you're going to potentially push out these double barrels. So yeah, and right now you can see exactly what you need to be doing in this vehicle, which is just being in a haul down position and being an absolute rock to get out. There's just nothing these enemies can really do as long as I keep the gun pointed down to like this on this ridge line. You see already bounce a T-30 shell. As long as I keep my gun pointed towards him, not going to have any issues, really. The cupola on top is a weak spot, but when you're using your full 10 degrees of gun depression, it's almost impossible to hit, to be honest. So yeah, this thing, if it's all down, good luck, as we get a very tasty double into the Tehran there. And you can see just such a controlling tank here. As we look for a shot into the icebreaker, unfortunately we start getting shot by a Mantis that's unspotted at like J0. We just turn our armor towards him, he's firing heat, and he's going to start hitting our tracks. We take a blind fire, but unfortunately we're a bit too high there. He's actually in the low ground, in that bowl. So yeah, this tank, it's potentially a bit too good, but we'll see about that. we'll see what Wargaming decides to do with it, but this, the Tier 9 and the Tier 8 have all been fantastic. Me and the Tier 7 didn't get along the best, but others have had better time than me. I probably just had a rough streak of games in it. It is what it is. So yeah. The only other, I think really the only negative about this thing is it's a bit slow, which, fair, it's gotta have some kind of negative thing, but that's not a huge, it's still not like painfully slow. It'll get up to like 32 kilometers an hour and stay there very consistently. But it's definitely not the fastest game or fastest tank in the game, especially for these end game scenarios like this. You definitely would rather be in like the E5 or, you know, even the Chieftain, I guess, at this point in the game in a heavy tank, because you at least have the ability to maybe get there to get the damage here on this T30. And we're just simply not. We're gonna, by the time we get there, he's gonna end up pressing over this ridgeline and just getting all his HP taken away, and all we're gonna get is we're gonna get the kill, but for just like 40 damage. As you see, he just gets absolutely obliterated, and then we finally get there and get 160 damage. So, a pretty accurate depiction of the average quote-unquote game for this tank so far for myself. So yeah, 5,000 damage, 3 kills, some blocked, a little bit of assisted, nothing crazy here on Sand River, but just a rough idea of what the average game has looked in this thing. Before we move on to the second one, which is going to be on steps, and is much more of a highlight game. So, yeah, there you go for Sand River in the Canopener. Also benefit of both these games is there's no arty for sure, so we're able to just sit Hulldown and, yeah, just tank shots. There's nothing these guys can do as long as we're using our tank to the best of its advantages, and both these maps are ideal for us. Steps is just the dream map for us in a setup, especially with no arty and a good amount of heavy tanks, a little bit of mediums, and only 3 TDs. The only TD that could maybe give you your turret issues is like a Yak Panzer firing heat, and then obviously like the HE guns, so like the Storm Tiger and the 183 from the UK. But you shouldn't have to worry about too much of that right now in this game. We're gonna go actually. Speaking of that, the reason we're not going to the 1-2 line, other than our team not going there super heavily in this game, is because I saw there was a Type 5 in this setup, and again, the AG rounds, that's one thing that can actually mess us up a bit. Granted, Type 5's not a super scary thing to fight, you know, in doing, but I'd rather just push through here on the medium tank flank and use these ridge lines to our advantage, and yeah, just have more flexibility if the game goes into that later stage, because this side of the map you can control more all-down vehicle. Even if they push into your base, you can defend it very easily with these 10 degrees of difference. If you rock up on this MDB, there's not much he can do here. He's overexposed himself, and he's going to be out of the game quite quickly. And there you go. Next target we've got is the Waffly 100. I'm just waiting for that second shot to get loaded in, and we can hopefully dump a double barrel into him. And we can slap him for another, 840 or so. And we're already up to 1,600 damage, 30 seconds, like a minute into the game. And with us not pushing down the 1-2 line very heavily, we only have 3 tanks going there. We want to make sure we win this flank quite quickly, while trying to preserve as much hit points as possible. While we do have a lot of tanks in our base, they're not in a great position if the 1-2 line falls. So we want to be able to push this as quickly as possible, as this T-54 is just overextending way too much, and we slap him, and our team is going to take him out of the game quite quickly as well. These guys are just in no man's land, and we're going to farm them for days here. In this scenario, again, I'm not using single shot because we're just in a giant brawl, and they're going to die quickly anyway, so I might as well just get big alpha bombs out of this while we can. Now, like that T95 E6 you see in the back, I definitely want to hit him with the single shot. But yeah, there's no point in doing that because you don't spot it, so you can't. So here's kind of make a good decision. Instead of pushing in down the 9-0 here with those mediums in the background, it's going to be hard for us to spot them initially at first, and then it's also going to be, we're going to end up getting shot in the flank. There's also the risk that there's somebody up in the K9 position, K0 position, up on that hill, sniper nest, and if they're in a stealthy tank, we're not going to spot them. It's a very obvious position, so instead I'm going to go back towards the base. I see that the 1-2 line has fallen, as I kind of expected, and yeah, hopefully support these TDs and such. But before that, I actually hey, let me just take a shot here. I know that's the usual position. Take aim. Yeah, you know, I wish I had just done a double barrel there. What we actually hit was the enemy Mantis was up there getting shots in. So, yeah, always good to take speculative shots, especially in idea. Well, not always, but a lot of the time like that, and you may get rewarded. So, instead of wasting more time potentially taking another shot of damage there, we're going to go sit on the ridge just above our cap and defend them from pushing in any further. As you see, the Type 5 is full health coming in. We put double towards him, one does 10. We just shot center mass there. Our premium pen is like 319, I believe. The standard pen is like 258. So just going with 319 APCR because scumbag Unicum, and I have $1 million silver at this point in the game, and it can't be valid. So yeah, sorry. So we line up. We're looking for a shot on the Canopener because he's much more of a threat, but he's not really giving us much of a shot, so we're just going to take the tier 8 and take him out of the game. I'd much rather prioritize the tier 10, but if he's not giving a shot, he's not giving a shot, so don't try to force it, just take the easy shots there. Fortunately, we actually do get spotted, but then we kind of progress a bit, so we're in a better position. We don't have to worry about getting shot from our left as much, hopefully. And we can keep the enemies right in front of us, which is what you want to really do when you call down tanks, is keep the enemy in front. Unfortunately, it overshoot a little bit, but the enemy Canopener only pens one shot, not all of them, as we're down to a 4v4 in this scenario. So you want to try to maintain as many HP, as much of their hit points as possible. It's very even, 24 to 26%. And our team is a little spread out. We have a friendly contender, so we're very strong position here. Us two defending the base can be really hard for them to attack.
Focus on this area.
And they're actually not going to attack here. The only thing we're going to pop up right here, a little different position, see if we can catch out, and we do. We catch out the Dragoon, we poke up, snap it, and take him out of the game. Taking out their medium tank, leaving them with only 2 heavies and a TD. That TD I haven't really noticed where he's been spotted, but I'd guess he's at the JK line, based on our team not advancing very much further. And then we actually get a spot via our friendly contender of them going back to reset our base. So right now we're going to push the tempo as much as we can in this tank because it's, again, not fast. And they're full HP, so very, very nearly. Very juicy targets at the end here. But we also want to make sure we can try to punish these guys. If they just go in and reset the cap here, it's going to be kind of awkward. We don't want to fight another Canopener Hulldown if we can avoid it. So if we can get shots in the rear of these guys as they go in to defend, it's going to be really helpful for us winning this game. Especially, here we go, we get the spot on the Canopener, that's our priority target. We put double in, and poof, even better, we also set him on fire. And he gets a shot by our friendly contender, and he is gone. So that's the tank that I was most worried about. So unfortunately, our contender gets slapped by the Type 5 Heavy with the 8B gun for 1100. That's rough. That's really rough. As we get another one into the Type 5, or 2 into the Type 5, and we're up to 8300 damage. So that quickly, we're already up to a really good result. At this point, I was like, man, we could definitely hit 10k here. Like, this is definitely a 10k type of damage game. We get a very good shot here into the Type 5 drive wheel, bringing us up to 9200 damage. And then I see the Hories on 1800 HP, and I am beelining it there. Again, quickly as the tank can go, which is not very quick, but we're going to try to get that way. We load a single shot just in case we're able to take out some Type 5, but we're not. Our Ayator does that for us. And we see the Hori moving in here at the end, and I'm figuring he's going to push right up and over on the left based on where he was going. I'm a little wrong. He actually is going to the right of the rock here, and he gets lit up. Fortunately, he doesn't lose all his HP. We're going to slap an 836 shell into him and get us up over that 10,000 mark just by 39 damage and finishing up that game with 4 kills and yeah, only 420 block, but we were able to just be at the right place at the right time with this tank. Yeah, it's just an absolute beast. That's all I can say. I'm not a huge heavy fan sometimes, but this is definitely one that I'll play quite a bit. And you two too. So yeah, finishing up that game, you can see our enemy Canopener also did very well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you next time. Peace.